Honestly, I haven't thought about the criteria. I haven't thought about too far ahead of any of that. I will be opting out, and that's as far as I've gotten.
A three-time All-Star number 7 Kyle Lowry just recently opted out of his contract with the Raptors. What's up guys, Leo on the mic, and in this video we're talking about if Kyle Lowry will leave or stay with the Toronto Raptors. Now as you know, the Raptors were swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern semifinals and are now officially in the off-season. About a week after that, Kyle officially announced to us that he had opted out of his 4-year, $48 million deal he'd signed with the Raptors back in 2014, and that'll become an unrestricted free agent on July 1st. Now he did opt out of his contract, but just last season, DeMar DeRozan did the same thing and came back with a nice 5-year, $139 million deal, the largest that year. So it's no surprise Kyle did the same because he probably just wants to see the offers he can get. This season, Kyle averaged a career-high 22.4 points per game, along with 7 assists, 4.8 rebounds, shooting 46% from the field and 41% from 3. That's higher than Steph Curry. In an interview, Kyle was asked about what he wants, and here's what he had to say.
Honestly, I haven't thought about any of that. Honestly, what I've thought about is, yes, I'll opt out, and how I need to get better as a basketball player. That's all I've thought about, and that I want a ring. That's all that drives me.
Yes, he wants a ring. Nothing else, just a ring. And with the next team he signs with, that's all he wants. But let's get on with the topic of this video. So let's say that Kyle is tired of getting beat up by LeBron and goes to the Western Conference. Many of the Western Conference teams though do have very good point guards. The Oklahoma City Thunder have Russell Westbrook, the Memphis Grizzlies have Mike Conley, and the Trailblazers have Damian Lillard, and Golden State of course with Stephen Curry. So, if Kyle does want to go to a playoff contending team in the West, only two teams are left, the Houston Rockets and the San Antonio Spurs. Let's say Kyle does decide to go to Houston. He played there earlier in his career from 2009 to 2012, and if he does go, he'd be playing alongside an all-star player James Harden and a very good three-point shooting squad that's Ryan Anderson, Lou Williams, Trevor Ariza, and Eric Gordon. Kyle would space out the floor, giving his teammates with more open shots, plus he'd be an upgrade over their active point guard Patrick Beverley, and James Harden could move back to shooting guard since he'd spent most of the season playing point guard. Now if Kyle doesn't go to Houston, then he'd probably go to the San Antonio Spurs. Kyle, in addition to all-star players like Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Manu Ginobili, could make a real threat against the Golden State Warriors. Now you might be thinking, don't the Spurs have Tony Parker? Well, yes they do, but he just recently injured his left leg in a game against the Rockets this postseason. He had to have surgery and maybe will be out for about 8 months. So to start the 2017-18 season, the Spurs won't have a starting point guard and will have to rely on their backup, Patty Mills. Tony Parker just turned 35 at the time of this recording, and he's showing signs of old age and his minutes have gone down, so he's probably going to be retiring soon. That could mean a perfect opportunity for Kyle to be on a team that has won many NBA finals and that has good coaching with good athletic trainers that could extend his career by a couple of years. Now let's say Kyle doesn't want to go out west and stays in the east. The two best suitable teams for him there would be the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors. Now the 76ers are actually a really good fit for Lowry because right now Philadelphia is a young team full of rookies and players who have played less than 5 years. But with potential all-stars like Joel Embiid, Dario Saric, and Ben Simmons, and you add in Kyle Lowry, a veteran player who has playoff experience and can guide them, you potentially have one of the deadly teams in the East. Right now, the high three-point percentage shooter on the 76ers is Jared Bayless at 40%. So you have Kyle Lowry who can make them consistently with the shot blocking of Embiid and the shooting of Dario Saric and Ben Simmons, then you have a playoff team in 1 to 2 years. Also, Kyle was born and grew up in Philadelphia, and he went to Villanova University, where he was later drafted by Memphis in 2006. So Kyle would be playing for his hometown, which a lot of players wish to do. But let's say that the Raptors want to re-sign Lowry, which is most likely to do. They can offer Kyle the longest contract with the most amount of money, which is a 5-year, $180,000 contract. But it would put them $40 million over the max salary cap, which this year is around $122 million. if they also want to sign Serge Ibaka, Patrick Patterson, and PJ Tucker. But if they do manage to somehow sign Lowry, the Raptors will continue to have one of the best backcourts in the NBA. And honestly, with a full season of Serge Ibaka, PJ Tucker, along with a non-injured Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, with them giving it their all, this is an NBA Finals team. Not to be biased or anything, because I am a Raptors fan, but I don't think he'll leave it up, because you just can't separate those two. But let me know what you think in the comments. For now, this is Leo. Peace! Plus, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.